Ms. Douglas, you are suing the father of your 5 children for a paternity test. You claim at times the defendant, Mr. Jones, doesn't treat your daughter, Cheyenne, as his own, and that he has always been suspicious that he's not her biological father. You admit that you kept a secret from him and you cheated on him with his cousin, but say when that secret finally came out, he immediately denied fathering your daughter. You've also petitioned the court to order Mr. Jones to take parenting classes. Now, Mr. Jones, you say you wanted to be a family man and worked 2 jobs to support your kids, but now you are fed up with Ms. Douglas's lies and infidelity. You claim you have every reason to doubt you are Cheyenne's father. You are seeking a definitive answer when today's DNA results are revealed. Now, Ms. Douglas, you admit to cheating. Do you believe the defendant has reason to doubt the paternity of Cheyenne?
Yes, Your Honor, I do, because I did make a mistake. I slept with his cousin, and the condom had broke. But before that, Tyrone was downstairs sleeping with my cousin. He was still having sex with his baby's mom. He was doing him, basically, but yeah, I did.
That was a mouthful. You made a mistake and slept with his cousin.
Yeah.
But he was downstairs sleeping with your cousin?
Yes, and more. I don't cheat. I don't believe in cheating. I'm very faithful. But yes, he does him all the time. Yeah.
Wow. I want to find out how this relationship began. Before it got to sleeping with all the cousins, how did you meet? Was this relationship ever good?
It got good. I met Tyrone actually at a party that happened downstairs in my building. I met him and his cousin almost the same night. Me and Tyrone got together the first night we watched movies. The next night we did have sex, but we weren't together. We just had sex, and after that he went back to his other baby's mom. And then I met his cousin, and I slept with his cousin, but we weren't together. So yeah, I slept with his cousin, but after that I found out I was pregnant. I called him and I told him I was pregnant. He was basically like, okay. So I'm like, okay. I just never brought it back to his attention because I had 3 other kids I took care of by myself anyway. So I'm practically mom and dad. So I didn't pay no attention that he really didn't care. But a week before I had my daughter, he was actually there. He signed a birth certificate, and after that, he was a good dad.
All right, now, Mr. Jones, is that a good account of what your relationship was?
I mean, sort of. We actually wasn't in a relationship at the time when she slept with my cousin, but she basically just denied doing it up until the point that's the reason we here now.
Okay. What did you feel, Mr. Jones, when you heard Ms. Douglas say, I'm pregnant and it's yours?
I wasn't too sure about it when she told me, but I'm like, okay, when she did tell me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step up and do what I gotta do.
So you did try to support her through this?
Yeah, I actually did.
I'm looking at you, Ms. Douglas, and you saying I didn't feel supported.
No, not at all. And let's go back to the cousin part. Like, when I did sleep with his cousin, I was gonna deny the whole thing, but he actually went in my room and actually smelled the bed and actually said it smelled like his cousin.
His cousin's cologne?
Yes,
I hope.
I was gonna deny it, but I was actually telling the truth. Yeah, his cousin was there, and he was just watching TV. So at first I was in denial, but I ended up telling him the truth, though. 2 years after my daughter was 2, I ended up telling him the truth.
So you go in and you smell, you know the cologne, your cousin, you say, okay, I know my cousin was here, but she denied everything. How long did it take you to tell the truth?
After my daughter was 2 years old.
Okay, so you are you in a committed relationship?
No.
You just going along for the baby's sake?
But when I was pregnant, he didn't care. He did not care at all.
Did you care?
I mean, I cared, but it was just to the point to where when I met her, she was pregnant by another guy who was actually incarcerated at the time, but she was also messing around with another guy who wasn't the father of the child she was pregnant with.
Was it any part of you that was excited? Did you?
I mean, it was, because I actually was there numerous of times during the pregnancy. It was just in the mix of that I had kids already, so I wasn't there like I should have been knowing she was pregnant with my child, because I wasn't really sure at the time.
All right, so the baby's born.
The baby's born. And when the baby was 2, he went to Chicago with his other's baby mama. We were together then, and I'm pregnant with his son. He went to Chicago. We didn't hear from him for about 4 months. Didn't call, check up on his daughter. Didn't call, check up on the pregnancy or nothing. How I knew he was in Chicago with his baby mama was she texted my phone like, oh, you're looking for your man? He's with me. You wonder why he's not calling your daughter? Because he's with me. That's how I knew he was in Chicago.
Were you with another one of your children's mother when you went to Chicago, like she's saying?
And
Yeah, I actually was. Because I was actually with my other baby mom before I was actually with Alexandra.
Okay.
It's confusing. It's very confusing. But now we're supposed to be together. He still talks to other people and his baby's mom, and I'm not doing nothing.
Okay. As I read the statement this morning, I recall saying you had 5 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It's as if you're speaking about this thing like it's, oh, yeah, because I was with my other child's mother and I just went on to Chicago and then he went there. And, I mean, you all 5 children potentially together. This was your relationship ever committed? Was it ever an important thing to either one of you? Are we just making babies? Is it a baby factory? What is it?
After I had my daughter, it's like he was basically playing me. We weren't together, so I'm like, okay, anything you can do, I can do better. So, but after I had my son, that's when we actually started getting together. Like, I was being faithful to him. I thought he was being faithful to me, but it was nothing like that. I would get played. I would sit at home with the kids. He'd be in Chicago doing him. I want to be with him to death, but he can't stop talking to other people. He can't.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Even after child number 2, you think he's cheating?
Yeah. I just had my twins 7 months ago. He's still talking to women. I don't never talk to anybody first. After I find out he cheats on me, that's when I do it. But I really do want to be with him, and I want to make a family for my 5 kids.
Now, Ms. Douglas, you just keep saying, okay, now see, I do not believe in cheating. I do not believe in cheating. But when he does this, then I go do that. Now, at some point, the tit for tat, it just turns into a catastrophe. I mean, are you two supposed to be trying to be in a relationship right now?
We was, but yesterday he was texting a girl on Facebook, writing a girl on Facebook. We supposed to be together. We're working on us for our kids, and you're writing somebody on Facebook? And now he's trying to say, well, now he said, I don't even know if I should get a DNA test for the twins because you had sex with somebody when you were pregnant with my twins. When I was pregnant with your twins. So how is that their baby?
She actually slept with that person last month. My twins is only 6 months or 7 months.
Before I had sex with his cousin last month. It's always him that starts.
So wait a minute now. You had sex with his cousin again last month?
And he had sex with my cousin again 3 months ago, before I did it.
Okay. You said you don't believe in cheating.
No, I don't.
Why are you doing it then?
When I cheat on him, it's with the same person because I want to get back. I'm not going to sit around and be played like I said. When I cheat on him, it's with one person.
And this is in no way condoning Mr. Jones's actions. I'll deal with him in a minute. But how in the world can you have 5 children that you believe are by a man, and every time he does something that betrays your trust, you sleep with his cousin or do something to get back at him, and yet you say you want to be in a relationship with him? It doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm thinking.
Now, don't you go co-signing. Don't you go co-signing because you're next.
Yeah.
How in the world can you potentially have 5 children with this woman and be so irresponsible and disrespectful that you continue to sleep with her family member?
My favorite cousin.
No, let me correct something. That's not your favorite cousin.
No,
the day she laid down with your supposed father of your children, she's no longer your favorite cousin. Let me give you that.
I know.
The day you go do that, you have not just disrespected your would-be girlfriend, the potential mother of your 5 children, you're disrespecting the kids too. That's the family. That's their family. They have to go to holidays in that family. They have to play with their other little cousins in that family. Why you all traipsing around in the family why you keep sleeping with her cousin?
It's like this. If you say that this is my child and you steady go back to the same cousin who was there from day one that made me have these doubts, how could you continue to do that? You living your life as a man right now. Basically, every time I do something, you gotta go do it.
Okay, yeah, I slept with his cousin a month ago. After that, we both made a vow to each other that we're done. It's no more of it.
Okay.
I've kept my promise. I have not done nothing. He's doing everything. Just like I said yesterday on Facebook, he's talking to girls. I have not done nothing. I really do want to be with him. And it just doesn't look like he want to be with me. He says it, but obviously it's not what it is. He don't want to be with me, and he should be a man and say that.
What do you want?
I do want to be with her, but...
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I honestly do.
No, I'm asking why he keeps cheating. Why? I have not. Why did you write somebody on Facebook yesterday? We're together. We're supposed to be a little trip to ourselves, and you're texting somebody on Facebook?
Why?
Basically, she started writing me, and I'm like, okay, I just responded to the text.
But on Facebook, it says we're engaged. So no other woman want to write him on Facebook. We're engaged on Facebook.
I mean, but look at me. You can't blame him.
I just play detective too much. That's my problem.
Mr. Jones.
Yes, Shauna.
That was great comic relief, but let's be very honest here.
Okay.
Let's be very honest here. It sounds like to me you keep stringing Miss Douglas along with the little carrot, giving her this feeling that one day, you're just gonna go ahead and commit to her. And every time it's all said and done and you all are through with each other and in the bed with each other's cousins, next thing you know, you all back together again and in the mess again. You got her thinking now she got engaged on her Facebook.
Yeah.
And you sitting up here talking about you don't know what you want to do.
I mean,
how does one person think they're engaged and the other person don't know what they're going to do?
I know, but at the same time,
I never heard of such.
You don't question any
so what
engagement.
Do you want to do? Do you want to be with me?
If you actually sleeping with one of my cousins as of last month, and you talk
you
about engagement,
you did the same
it really don't make sense. How could you even be in a committed relationship with me if I have doubts because you steady going back with the same cousin, which the whole reason I'm here is for the paternity.
Cousins, it's okay, basically, right?
All right, I admit, I had
it's a different cousin.
2 things with 2 of her cousins, which, all right. But it's not like I'm here to question the paternity of their kids. I'm here to protect.
Oh, well, how big of you?
It's different.
You didn't bring it all the family and make it a family reunion.
I mean, I'm just saying, I didn't like her cousins is standing on the podium like right next to me, and I'm here to be questioned about the paternity of their kids, because it's not.
When it comes back, he is a father. I just wish he would get some parenting classes so he could be a good dad to all his kids.
Well, speaking of that, let's find out the results. Jerome, can you hand me the envelope, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. Here you go.
On that issue of parenting classes, I need to ask you a few things. How often are you involved with your children?
Every day.
Every day?
Except
Every
for
day.
when he's out with the girls.
Well, except when I'm at work, Your Honor.
Okay. There are instances when a court can order parenting classes, but I haven't heard testimony today that would substantiate any reason why I need to order Mr. Jones to parenting class. What I do feel is necessary is to advise and encourage you both to attend family and parenting classes together. The court is concerned about your relationship to the extent that it affects the kids. Mm-hmm. So I am not quite certain you two really need to be together. It's just a lot going on and messy in the family. And I don't know how you all are gonna be a couple and then have to go to Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas and the cousins are there. I don't know how this is gonna work. However, it's not for this court to figure out. What I just need to help you figure out is whether or not you can parent together, whether or not you're in a relationship, okay? You seem emotional, Ms. Douglas. What are you feeling?
I tried so hard, and I really do want to be with him. We have 5 kids that want us both in the household, and it just doesn't seem like it's gonna be like that. My daughter is everything. He means everything to my daughter. I just want to know, can you just tell him that he is the father?
So the results now will determine whether you have 4 children together or 5. In the case of Douglas versus Jones, when it comes to 4-year-old Cheyenne, Mr. Jones, you are not the father.
She knew this from the beginning. Now I'm embarrassed, gotta face public humiliation because she didn't want to be honest before we came here.
Your Honor, I didn't know. I didn't even know the
You
kind
knew,
of busted.
man.
I didn't
You
even know
knew.
the kind of busted. How would I know if he's not the father when we're sleeping together every day? How would I know?
She told me, nah, I don't have no doubts.
Because
This
I
is your
didn't.
daughter.
I didn't at all. My daughter acts just like him and looks just like him to me. And now my daughter ain't gonna have a dad.
No, she gonna have a
That's
daddy.
concerning me the most.
Now, Mr. Jones, you are the biological father to 4, and I want you to be man enough, if necessary, to be the daddy to 5. You walk into this courtroom loving this little girl. It is perfectly okay to walk out loving her just the same.
That's crazy, because I do. I actually do. It's like, to me, that wouldn't really even change the fact that I still want her to be my kid. I still love her.
I'm proud of you. No matter what happens from this day forward, you remember that. And you think of that little girl. She thinks the world of you. Don't let her down. Okay?
Yeah.
Court is adjourned. Ms. Hatcher, you confessed that at the time you conceived your 2-year-old son, Josiah, you had sexual relations with 3 men. Now, you don't want your son to suffer for your mistakes, so you've requested paternity testing on all 3 men.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now, Mr. Scott, you claim Ms. Hatcher led you to believe you were the only potential father of this child until she told you in anger
That's
that
true,
she
Your Honor.
needed a DNA test.
Yes, Your Honor, that is true.
Mr. Blake,
Yes, ma'am.
you claim there's no way you're the child's father, and you're going to prove that today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the third possible father, Mr. Sneed, says he wasn't even aware of the possibility until Ms. Hatcher's son was almost 2 years old. So, Ms. Hatcher, please explain to the court how you got yourself in this situation.
Yes, Your Honor. At the time, I had sex with 3 different men around the same time my son conceived. I did have a 5.5-month fling with Mr. Scott, and I also had...
No, Your Honor, that is not true. It was just sex, period.
That's what a fling is.
Not to me. Not to me.
So, please, keep going, Ms. Hatcher.
I also had a 7.5-year relationship with my ex, and I had a one-night stand with him around the time. And I also had a one-night stand with Mr. Blake. I have a calendar right here.
Oh, that will help us. Jerome, please hand me Ms. Hatcher's evidence. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As we see here on the calendar, the yellow represents you, Mr. Scott. For Mr. Blake, that's represented in the blue. We're looking at the window of conception.
Okay.
Mr. Sneed is in green. And then outlined in red, as you can see, is the window of conception. So, green, we have Mr. Sneed, your ex. You say you had sex with him on the 23rd of December.
Yes, Your Honor. One time.
Did you use protection?
No, we did not.
How much did he pay?
Excuse me, Mr. Scott.
That's
You're
right.
gonna be respectful in this courtroom.
Your Honor, this is him. He is a disrespectful man. He is very ignorant. He's all that. To me and my son, just recently, he knows that we don't have a working refrigerator and a stove. And he comes over to my house and he still has the same attitude, nasty attitude that he has now.
You admitted in court today that you had a 5.5-month fling with a gentleman that can look across the aisle at you and ask you, how much does someone pay for your sexual services?
That's the reason why I wasn't with him, Your Honor. That's the reason why after the 5.5 months, I seen him.
5.5 months is too long.
Well, you know, yeah, you're right.
So, you know, in this courtroom, we just keep it real. Now, Mr. Scott, I want to understand from your perspective why you are doubtful.
Okay, I'm doubtful because she said out of her own mouth, DNA test. I
Your
didn't know
Honor.
nothing about her situation. When she came and told me she was pregnant, I believed her.
Okay.
Because she's a woman who knows her body, who's supposed to know her body, who knows what she does.
So when the baby was born, were you in the hospital?
Yes, ma'am. I was there for her.
And did you sign the birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I have it right here. I signed the birth certificate.
Jerome, hand
I've
me
been
that birth
buying
certificate.
diapers. I've been buying playpens. I've been taking care of the side, letting him come to my house on football Sundays. I
Your
spend
Honor,
the whole.
that man is not doing. Your Honor, that man is not doing any of that. Okay.
I'm not doing it
He is not a
anymore.
good
Ever since I
person,
found
period,
out
Your
that I
Honor.
don't
I'm
think
sorry.
he's mine, I have
He is
stopped.
an ignorant person.
That young man has my last name, Your Honor, and it could be not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be, might be his, might be Mr. Sneed. It is not fair to him.
So you're listed here as father.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point did you begin to doubt whether or not you were Josiah's biological father?
Had a situation where we had to go to court. She said in open court, we need to get a DNA test because she was in fear that I was going to try to take
And
Josiah
in your
from
mind,
her.
that
I
was the
wasn't in
first
fear
time.
of that.
Hold on.
I was in fear.
That was the first
That's
time
the
you
first time
ever
that I ever
questioned
heard
paternity.
question when she mentioned
Okay,
DNA.
That's
stop.
a lie,
Hold
Your
on,
Honor.
hold on,
That's
hold
a
on.
lie. I added up the dates and everything. I thought I conceived in January. To find out I didn't conceive in January, I conceived in December. So then I was like, oh man, you know, I came to him like a woman and I said, you know what, Josiah might not
Why
be yours.
didn't you just win?
Josiah might not,
When?
Josiah might not be yours.
When did you do that?
And he was like, oh, I could have figured that because Josiah, the way Josiah was looking. And he came to the hospital, he looked at Josiah up and down. I'm talking about, he was checking Josiah's ears, he was checking Josiah's legs, his feet.
Your Honor.
He searched
Your
Josiah
Honor.
from head and toe before he signed that birth certificate, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
And then after I brought my son home, after having a C-section, I sat there. He came in the house after he done got him a girlfriend. He came in the house and he said, my girlfriend said that Josiah might not be mine. And Josiah wasn't home 2 days yet.
Your Honor, do you
That's
know?
what he did.
Your Honor, do you know that
And not
this is the
even-
second lady, Your Honor, that has come to me, told me that I am the father of her child. Signed a birth certificate, 99% wasn't mine.
It is clear why there's doubt in this situation. Now, that is a fact. You have to understand why all these men are doubtful. I mean, Mr. Blake,
Yes, Your Honor.
did you sleep with Miss Hatcher on the 26th of December? That's the day after Christmas. You should remember that.
We got a hotel room that night. Possibility it could be mine. If it's mine, I don't have a problem with taking care
Was
of
it
mine.
protected sex on that day?
We had a little alcohol, but I think so, Your Honor.
All right. So, Miss Hatcher, do you remember whether or not you two used protection when you...
Yes, I do. Well, first time we did use protection, and then the second time we didn't.
Your Honor, it wasn't no second time.
We had sex twice.
I only remember one time. I know I wasn't that drunk, Your Honor.
Now, why are you doubtful?
It was a one-night stand.
So you feel like just because it was a one-night stand, your odds...
Are very slim.
And he also told me that he made his
I
first
used
child off a
condoms.
one-night stand.
I was about to say, it's plenty of people
That's
in
what
this
he
world.
told me.
Yeah,
He said
I
it possibly
understand that,
can
but
be.
Your Honor, if the child's mine, I don't have a problem with taking care of mine.
That's good to know.
Plain and simple.
Ms. Hatcher, now you say you have reason to believe that Mr. Blake is the child's father.
Could be. He could be a possibility because the way my son is built, the way he's growing up.
How
he
many
has
people you got to test before you find out?
Okay, well,
As many as it takes in this
We'll get a
courtroom.
test.
As many as it takes. You say your son, you feel like he's built like Mr. Blake.
Well, he got broad shoulders like Mr. Blake, and he has, you know, his hands are thick, his feet are flat. I really don't know Mr. Blake that well.
Okay, so you also say you have good reason to believe that Mr. Sneed is the father. You see similarities there.
Yes, I do. In his feet.
Explain.
In his feet, he has flat feet like Mr. Sneed.
I thought he had the flat feet.
I know how this may look. The only thing I'm trying to do is just try to find out who my baby father is. Because I know that it's hard. I had moved from a house to having a car to a apartment with no stove, no working refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? And this man, you know, he's homeless, and I let him stay out of my house at night. I don't want him to be my baby's father because he's 43 years old. He don't want to work.
But you slept with him without protection.
Yeah, I did.
So at this point, the insults are irrelevant.
Yeah, it is.
Can I defend myself in a small way?
I've already defended you.
No,
if you would
I'm
listen
talking
and
about in
stop
a different
talking,
way.
you would already see.
No,
You're
ma'am.
not on trial.
No, ma'am.
You don't need to defend yourself.
No, ma'am, I have children. I have 3 kids.
Listen,
No,
you don't need to defend yourself,
that's not
sir.
the point, ma'am. I have 3 kids that are watching me. And that woman just said something about my character. And I have a right to say something myself towards my character.
What about your character?
She just said that I'm this and that, I don't take care of my kids.
Ask him what he does
if
for
I
a
don't,
living.
If I don't take care of my kids, call them.
You don't take care
Call
of your
him.
kids, and you know
Call
you
him.
don't. You don't pay child
Call
support.
them and
You
ask
always
them
say
what
you
they
don't pay
did.
child
Call
support.
them and
He's
ask them what kind of
horrible.
father
He's
I am.
horrible.
And I'm gonna tell you
And
something
it's not
else,
about
Your
that.
Honor.
It's about
I'm gonna tell you
being
something
a
else.
man and stepping
I'm
up
not
to the
like
plate.
her. I'm not demeaning her.
I'm gonna let you all run your own case.
No, ma'am.
And see what kind of results you get after this, because I got the real one. So go ahead.
But I'm not
Go
demeaning.
ahead.
No, I'm
you
not.
said you want to defend yourself.
No,
Run your
ma'am.
case. Run your case.
What I want to say is that I'm not demeaning her in any way. She made some mistakes. And she needs to own up to them because I'm the victim.
That's
I'm the
why I'm
one.
here.
No, you're
This is the
not.
only
You're here,
mistake I
you're here
have made.
bashing
I
the
have
man.
made
You've
more.
done it to me.
I don't do it
You've
none
done
of
it to
that.
me.
I don't do nothing.
You've done it to me.
Stop coming to my
I'm
house.
the one who signed
Stop
the
coming
birth
to my
certificate that
house.
might not be mine that
Stop
2 other
coming to
dudes
my
you
house.
slept with. Be
Stop
honest
coming
with
to
me.
my house.
Guys, calm down, please.
Truth be told, when this man stepped up and signed the birth certificate, then really that should have been, that's it. Because that's what babies deserve. Their mother and their father in the hospital when they're born, signing the birth certificate and living their life. Not 2 years later, still sitting up here arguing
That's why.
with eeny, meeny, miny, and no.
I'm sorry,
Talking
Your Honor.
about, we don't know this, and she did this, and he did this, talking about nothing.
The reality
I'm
is-
sorry, Your
Now,
Honor. I
what
really
I'm
am.
trying to get to is why you have doubt. I understand why he has doubt. I understand why he has doubt. Mr. Sneed couldn't be with us today. But given this calendar, I know why he'll have doubt.
This is what I really want to do. Just find out who his father is.
And what are your hopes?
I'm hoping that Eddie is not the father. I'm hoping that it's the other 2 men. Which one of the other 2 men? And the only
that's
reason-
your hope?
Yes, that is my hope.
Why are you
really
emotional? What do you feel?
Because, you know, I'm ashamed that I'm here for this for my son, because I would have never thought I'd be a kind of woman like this. It wasn't like I was in a relationship with none of these, but I feel that I should know.
And
you
now
know?
you've gotten yourself centered back in the place where you know this is really not about you, it's about your
It's not
son.
about me. It's not.
And that's the place where we can make change. Because this courtroom is about children. Y'all want to go out here today and destroy your lives? There's nothing I can do. But I'm not going to sit by and watch you destroy Josiah's.
And it'll be better for us to get like my GED, because once I find out who his father is, I'll be able to go back to school. I'll be able to get financial help, you know.
So you'd like to get your GED?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to get my GED.
Because, look, I understand as a mother how difficult it is, period. Okay? I'm getting people's hopes, and I want to know what your hopes are today, Mr. Scott, as it relates to Josiah.
My hopes, period, are that we find out who his father is, whether it is me, him, or him. I want to know, because if he's mine, I want to be with him. I got 3 kids. I would give my last for mine. I would give my last for my kids. And if that boy is mine, he gonna know he got love. When I'm around him, you best believe there's no negativity in his life. If I feel like we gotta yell, I will leave. I'm not finna do anything around that boy.
Good. And the passion you're showing for this young man is exactly why this courtroom exists. Because we want people to understand how important a child is.
And I know that.
And that, I will give you a chance to speak
They're
on
the
that.
future.
How passionate you are about a child. Now, Mr. Blake,
Yes, Your
What are
Honor.
your hopes today?
If the child mine, I'll take care of mine. But if it's not, I'm sorry.
Have you met Josiah?
Never.
Never, ever.
Nope. I don't live in the same town as them. I've
So, let me ask you this. If he is, in fact, your biological child, would you like the opportunity to meet him today?
moved. Sure.
Good. Well, Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. Mr. Sneed was unable to join us today, but he has been tested. In the case of Hatcher v. Scott, Blake Sneed, pertaining to whether Mr. Sneed is the biological father of 2-year-old Josiah Scott, Mr. Sneed is not Josiah's father. In the case of Hatcher v. Scott, Blake Sneed, pertaining to whether Mr. Blake or Mr. Scott is the biological father of 2-year-old Josiah Scott, when it comes to Mr. Blake, you are not the father.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to Mr. Scott, you are the father.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You happy?
Thank you. That means he has my name and I don't have to change it.
Right.
Thank you.
That's good. You
Now
lost
he
a
can meet
year
his
with
brothers.
him in
Now he
doubt.
can meet his brothers and sisters.
Listen, now you two have to help Josiah. You have to help one another and help this child. Why is it you can't be adult enough? I don't want to hear anything else. I want to tell you something. You all have to love Josiah more than you dislike one another. You have to figure out what? I'm tired of all this eye rolling. I'm tired of all this like I don't know what I'm talking about. This doesn't have to happen again. And you don't have to perpetuate this whole nightmare onto your child. And as long as you disrespect him and as long as you disrespect her, then Josiah is gonna pay for it. Now you wanna roll your eyes, you wanna go home, sit your butt down somewhere and think about what I said. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I am furious. You all sitting up here acting like kids. That's not right. Beautiful little boy. You telling me he ain't got no stove. This little boy ain't got no refrigerator. And you sitting up talking this nonsense. Court is adjourned. I'll see you in my chambers.